You let me get a peek in. All right, people, let Eden have the floor.
Okay. Who here knows who Michael Jordan is? Raise your hand.
The greatest of all time.
You know who Michael Jordan is?
Yeah, the greatest basketball player of all time.
I know his name.
Who here knows who LeBron James is?
Yeah, second best player
Who's
of all
heard of the
time.
GOAT conversation?
Yes.
My personal opinion, I don't believe in the GOAT conversation.
Oh.
I think that there will never be a greatest of all time at everything because there's so many aspects of the sport that people like. Steph Curry, one of the best shooters of all time. Probably LeBron James, probably one of the best like in transition, get to the hoop kind of players. And there's just so many different aspects. There's better defense players. It just has to be different. But if I had to choose, it would be Michael Jordan, easily. The topics I decided to talk about are going to be personal stats, their achievements, the NBA during their playing time, their mentality, and their teammates. Michael Jordan personal stats and accolades. He played 15 seasons in the league. He retired twice, 3 times? Twice, I think. He played 1,072 games. He averaged 30.1 points a game. He averaged 6.2 rebounds and 5.3 assists. His average field goal was 49.7, and his free throw percentage was 83.5. That's kind of low for somebody like that's supposed to be the greatest of all time, to be honest. He's in the Hall of Fame. He was 9 times All-Defensive Team. He was a 14-time All-Star, and I think the one time he didn't make All-Star was the one time when he broke his ankle. I had to look that up. I couldn't find it anywhere. He's a 10-time scoring champ, 3-time steal champ, which is crazy for somebody his size. He was a 6 times NBA champ, 11 times All-NBA, 9 times All. No, I already got that. He was a 1984 to 85 rookie season. He got Rookie of the Year that season. That was his beginning. He was a 3 times. I can't remember that one, but I know it was good. He was Defensive Player of the Year. He was 6 times Finals MVP. He won 6 finals. He was a 5 times MVP, and he was in Rookie of the Year his rookie season. LeBron James, he's played 16 seasons and he's still going. He's played 1,265 games. He's averaged 27.1 points, 7.4 rebounds, 7.4 assists. He had a 50.4 field goal percentage, and he had a 73.4 free throw. He's a 16 times All-Star, 2008 to 07 scoring champ, 2019, 2020 this year's assist champion, 4 times NBA champ, 16-time All-NBA, 6 times All-Defensive, 2003 and 04 All-Rookie. Same thing with AS, I don't remember. 4 times Final MVP. He's won 4 finals as well. 4-time MVP in a 2003 rookie year. This is a big part of what I think it should be talked about.
It's always against the Detroit team. Everybody picks on Detroit. Michael Jordan probably could have beat the Lions too.
Honestly.
The internet was slow today. I had trouble getting on the Wi-Fi this morning. Go back to present and click the YouTube link. Go right to YouTube, see if it plays better there.
There's gonna be no sound, so I'll just talk through it. In like the 80s, 90s, there were the Detroit Pistons, and we know them. They're here. They're Michigan. They suck. They're bad. But in this time, they went on a good run against Michael Jordan. Their strategy was to try to get him to go into the paint, try to get to the hoop, and then they would just knock him down. The goal was to
Beat
get
the
him
heck
on the
out of
ground
him.
and foul him and beat him until he couldn't play anymore. But Michael Jordan got hit a lot, and he didn't care. They called it the Jordan rules. Every team had it, but these guys perfected it because they had Bill Embiid, just a bunch of guys that just didn't care. They would knock you on the ground and walk over you. The video would have explained it, but I don't have the sound working for some reason.
The sound on the TV on?
Yeah, that makes sense.
For example,
I'm pretty sure the sound on the TV.
And that was during Michael Jordan's time. the game was just a lot more tough back then. I think the era now is pretty soft, sadly. But this is what a foul is these days, and it's sad. It was supposed to play at a certain time.
They got to get those ads in. At least it's not a McDonald's ad.
That's James Harden. I do not like him either. He's a great player. He's a good scorer, but he does that.
What the heck?
And that was they called it on the guy from Chicago.
He flopped.
He does every time.
He's terrible.
He's a great player, but he just I just don't like him. Hit him in the beard, in the fluff.
What's the point of that?
Nothing. It was a mistake. He didn't mean intentionally, but
It wasn't like it was.
they
supposed to
called
go
a
for the ball,
foul on
but
that. Oh, Popovich. Look at
Didn't even touch him.
oh my
This,
God.
Yeah.
this isn't a James Harden confirmation.
So
In the
It's
Academy
just, It's
Award.
just how much he flops.
Oh wow.
He's dramatic, that's what he
Very.
is.
He's a great scorer. He drops.
Well, yeah, when you shoot 60 times a
Yeah,
game.
but he shoots like 40. He gets like 40 points a game, which is pretty good for a shooting guard. Okay, mentality is a big part of what I think. Michael Jordan had an assassin mentality. He wouldn't stop until he knew he was the best, and everyone knew that. He would take like, there was, I'm not gonna say name, but there was a player that just didn't respect him at all. He would say something, some small simple thing, and Michael Jordan would make them pay. There would be some slight little disagreement between him and some player, and he would hate them, or he would like be good friends with people on the court.
Yep.
But when it came to like the game time, he was going to drop 50 points on you, and you were going to be in the news as the worst player in the league now. I find Michael Jordan, not Jordan, LeBron James, this proposed king, to be arrogant and I guess overrated, in my opinion. I think he called himself the GOAT a few times, and I don't think a player is the GOAT if they're saying it themselves. Michael Jordan has never called himself the GOAT. But
He said, what I loved, his one quote was, "I'm the best I can be."
Mm.
He always put it on himself. I'm
Yeah.
doing the best that I can be.
He knows he's not the greatest, but he's going to try to be.
Yep.
And Michael Jordan, I can't remember his name. LeBron James thinks he's the GOAT. And I like that he has that kind of respect for himself, but I just don't figure it to be like a fair opinion because it's himself. Michael Jordan's teammates.
Oh, Rodman.
Scottie Pippen, Hall of Fame player, one of my favorite players to play, like to watch play. Tony Kukoc, he was one of the first European League players to come over. He was a pretty young player in the European League. I think he got 5 times All-European League player. One of the greatest of all time from the European side, and Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman, they called him the Worm because he would get around the court and get that ball whenever he had to, whenever he could. And this man was weird.
That's an
Really,
understatement.
Really weird. He wore a
He
dress.
looks like he's just gay.
No,
No, he's just
very
out there.
So what if he's gay anyways?
Yeah,
He's just-
yes,
very
there's no
odd.
toxic masculinity there. It's an outfit. It's like a
He
I rock
did
that.
shock
Respect
value.
the
He
people
wanted
that
to
are
shock
gay.
people. That's all he
Yes.
wanted to do.
Hall of Fame player, one of my favorite defensive players. Not the best.
Let him
Time, I
finish.
think. Michael Jordan only had 2. Michael Jordan. He had 2 Hall of Fame players that really played with. The other players he played with weren't really worth mentioning, I guess. They were good players, but not as good as these guys. Tony Kukoc was young when he played with Michael Jordan, so he didn't make the Hall of Fame. I don't know how he didn't. LeBron James, he's played with a lot more players that have high standing or Hall of Fame level play. Dwayne Wade, really good player. I respect him because he has that hustle. He has that like mentality that he wants to play.
When did LeBron play with Shaq?
He played for the Heat. It was pretty early in his career.
Really?
Yeah. It was when Shaq was in like really bad decline though. He
Okay.
was averaging like
Gotcha.
5 rebounds a game. It's pretty bad. Anthony Davis, probably one of the top 5 players now, I think. Kyrie Irving, one of my favorite guards to watch. He's also pretty high. He's gonna go to the Hall of Fame, I feel like. Chris Bosh, his name. Played for a center. He played with them when LeBron got his first ring. Shaq, we all know Shaq. He's huge. He is.
Awesome.
I feel like I'd be afraid of him, to be honest. If you walked up to me and I didn't know who he was, I'd probably be afraid. He's 7 foot tall. And Paul Pierce, no, Ray Allen. Ray Allen was old when he played with LeBron, but still Ray Allen. He still had an amazing shot, still a great player. That's all. I personally think that Michael Jordan is the GOAT. There is no different opinion I want, really. I don't personally feel like there is a GOAT. There's going to be a player that's best at one thing, there's going to be a player that's best at another.
Well done, dude. Well done.